Happy belated birthday there, young Mr. Broderick, and welcome to this little series of videos that I'm putting together for you to cover the 3 model kits that are coming your way in the mail. One of them is coming from your Aunt Beth, and the other 2 are coming from me from sunny California here, proverbially. And I'm kind of hoping that you're going to enjoy this as I kind of guide you through each one of those. Yes, you know, birthdays. I remember, when I was your age, that was a beautiful thing, every tooth in my mouth was mine, and my eyes could kind of focus by themselves. Didn't need to go peering through these Coke bottles, unless I was drinking a Coke. Oh, yes. Coke Classic, boy, that was the best. Being able to remember what I was talking about, that was a big one, too. Yes, I was talking about something. Coke. Ah, yes. Plastic car modeling. This is a hobby that in its most recognizable form, actually, if you were to see something from 1958 when it started, so we are talking well nigh into 60 years now, you would see something that looks rather like the plastic car models of today. You're getting 3 sort of different representative areas here. Now, I showed you that 2015 Mustang, which is a very simple snapper. And there was another one that you picked, and we'll be getting to that one last, because it represents a step above the other 2, in that it involves glue, and with those little markers that you got in the box, I'm going to show you how you can do some rudimentary painting. That's going to make a lot of difference in the finished product there. This first one, though, is by a British company called Airfix, and it actually is a model of the same big orange Lamborghini that I showed you there on the phone camera. Okay, and it's unique for that reason. It's the same Lamborghini Aventador, but also because it builds like a Lego set. It just doesn't have that characteristic Lego look at the end, but it's compatible with Lego pieces. And since you're experienced with 1,700-piece sets where you build what's on the box and then reconstitute them into your own structures, I figured this little 30-piece thing that builds like a Lego would probably be a breeze. Nonetheless, I'm doing a video that kind of takes you through it step by step, and I think I may have 1 or 2 little hints that might have, but might not have occurred to you as you were going through and building them, and they may be of some help. Plus, I just enjoy putting these videos together. Go figure. Let's have a look at that first kit. Here it is, the Airfix Quick Build, and let's move you right to the punchline there. I don't know how well you can see it at the side there. Maybe it's a little bit clearer on the back, but looking at the picture there, you can see probably some of the Lego piece projections on some of these, and that's essentially how it's going to go together. Now, when you open yours up, you are going to see this. You're going to see a bag of all the main parts there, like so. You're going to see a piece with the clear window in there that constitutes the front and the back window part with the louvers. And you're going to see a loose unbagged chassis plate, and already you can see the Lego piece projections there. We have the assembly guide, and with that assembly guide we have a little set of stickers. You're going to see that some of mine are off. That's because I've actually had this thing together. I won't lie, I was a little bit curious for my own sake, and I also wanted to vet this thing for you to make sure that it all went together, and it's a good thing that I did, because the first one that I bought was actually missing a piece, and it had another piece in there by mistake. So what we have here actually, and this is an exchange, this one, with the correct number of pieces, and that's also why you're going to see your own bag has been opened, because I checked yours out just to make sure that everything was in there, and to the best of what I could see, everything is. You have a complete model, no mistakes in the packing there. So we should be good to go as far as yours is concerned. Now, the parts here are few enough that I'm not going to worry too much, actually, about scattering them all out, because we're only dealing with some 30-40 parts, I think, and it's going to be a very clean matter of assembly here. Because I've already been through this, you're going to see that I have already separated the tires. The tires actually come on a little frame piece there. This little X that's holding all the tires together. That's what we call a sprue. It's either called a sprue or a tree, depending upon preference, I guess, that modelers like to call it. And you're going to see here, because I haven't done it with yours, your tires also come on a tree like this. Now, it might be simple. It might look like a pretty simple deal. You just want to maybe twist the tires off of the tree. I'll show you the better way to do this, though, because something else that you have gotten along with this is this little pair of clippers with the orange handle. They're sprue nippers. Okay, they're designed exactly for getting parts off of the sprues, off of the trees like this. All right, they have a flat side. You want to take this side that has the angle that you can see, and you want to aim it towards the tree, and you want to take the flat part of it and aim it against the part that you want to cut off of the tree. Okay, like so. I find it helpful with a stretchy soft piece like this vinyl to pull a little bit on the part that you want separated, okay? And if you have the flat against the part that you want to cut and you pull a little bit before you snip it, off goes the part. And then you're going to find here that the little piece that you leave behind of the tree is pretty minimal. It's not raised. Okay, and that's the way I like to handle it with the soft parts. This is another set of tires from a totally different kit, but its arrangement was similar. Its arrangement was similar to what you have over here in this one. And likewise, you have the hard plastic wheels that also come on a tree. Now, these are wheels from another Lamborghini kit. They're on hard plastic, but I'm going to show you that except for pulling the sprue away from the part, the principle is basically the same. You take the flat of the clippers, you position it against the part, the flat, and you let the angle snip away the tree from the part that you want to separate. And if you do the same on the other side for this one, which has 2 joining points, you won't have to worry about it. Yours only has 1. Again, you've got a pretty clean little deal there. You have a nice little bit with only a little bit of the sprue left there for you to clean up. Okay, so assuming that you've done all this, you're going to notice about the tires here. They're what they call asymmetric tires. They have difference in the treads. One side of the tread is different from the other. And that is why one side of the wheel has a bigger opening than the other side does. This is to make sure that you get the wheel in on the correct side. Okay? So we're going to take one of the bigger rear wheels, and we're going to take it and press it into the tire just so, from the outside, like the instructions guide you. And there you have a finished wheel. And you just do that 4 more times and you're good to go. So the next step is we have these 2 blocks here that have the axles on them. And if you look at the part numbers, you're going to find that they're pretty much the same. They're identical front and rear, so you don't need to worry about separating them and keeping the front and the back separate from one another, or keeping track of them. They're the same either way, and so you can just take whatever wheels you like willy-nilly and snap them on. And it's pretty, you've been through this a million times before. It's just essentially sliding them and snapping them on, like so. Okay, there's the rear axle with the bigger tires. There's the front axle with the smaller tires. And from that, we immediately go to bodywork. Looking at what is step 16 here, we're going to look now for side scoops. And we're going to look for the part that has the little L marking. I don't know if that's actually showing up there. Yeah, I think you can make out a faint L right by my fingertip there. This is a part where you have to put a little sticker in. We're going to cover the stickers in a moment because I have been through this one. I've actually gone ahead and installed the sticker there, so we're not going to worry so much about this one, except to see how it goes into the side piece that also has the little L on the bottom there, if you can make that out. Okay? So, step 16, actually it's decal 16, we're on step 6, we go to step 7, and that's essentially, you know, going to put these two together. And you see the square boss right where my finger is, and that tells you where this part is going to go. Essentially, it is just as you're used to dealing with every Lego set that you've ever done. And we look for what looks like a Lego piece from this side, but is actually recognizably a Lamborghini Aventador on the other side. Like what I did there. It's an Aventador door. I don't know, it sounds like I got a stutter when I say that, though. And you put those together, and you have this. Now we go immediately to the chassis. And what you're going to look for is that the back edge of that piece right there lines up with this little box-like projection on the side of the chassis on the inside. So it goes together in just such a way. Snap them on and in, and boom. There's the chassis, and there's the side of the car. We essentially go to the parts stamped R now, and we repeat the process. Going to do them without the stickers for the time being, because we're going to spend some time on the stickers a little bit later on. Okay? Squeeze those together. All right, there you go. Take the Aventador door. Put that on. Boom. All right? There's that part completed. And it goes right on the same side. Just like so. And you reach in and you just sort of press there with your fingers. And all of a sudden, hey, look at that. Now, we're starting to see something recognizably a car. Starting to take a little bit of shape here. We have the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror has the L on one side. Do I even show that there? It's also differentiated, however, by having only four of the pegs there on that side. And you can see this one side here is set up so that it will only accept a piece with 4. So you put that in. And yeah, we have the door coming off here as I'm fiddling around. This one has 6. It's got 6 of the pegs here. And you'll see that only the passenger side will accept a 6-peg arrangement. So you put that in. And now not only do we have doors, we have side view mirrors. They're ready, actually, by this point, for you to put the axles in. Now, the front axle is actually going to go in from the top and install like so. The rear axle is actually going to go in from the bottom on this little plate section right there, right at the top. Okay, and we just take it and set it up like so, and in it goes. Now you've got something that's actually ready to roll around. Okay. Now we have the rear cowling. The rear cowling is all set. It just lines right up with this particular square that you see here on the back deck, and you're going to see that the bottom is set up to go in just the same way. We have 14 each side of these little pegs, and we put it in there just like so, so that the cowl piece lines up with the door, and it lines right up on the square. Slowly and surely, we're moving from massive, mysterious orange and black plastic to a Lamborghini Aventador, and that's happening very quickly. Here, you have the little engine insert. That shows you the little engine details. There's a cross frame just like what I have in the big one, just like what I have in the big 8-scale kit. Okay. This is going to go in such a way, if you look at the instructions, that you skip these first two. You skip this first row of 2, 4 of the pegs here, and you put that essentially so it lines up with the back of the piece. And you snap it in like so. Then we have the front fender piece. The front fender piece right there, and the hood. We're going to set it up so that the hood here lines up with the openings on the fenders. Once you have that set, press it home, and bang, that's all set. There is a sticker that's called for us to put on this blank steering wheel right now. We're not going to worry about that for the time being. We're instead just going to take this front fender assembly, and we're going to slide this in there and put it in pretty much the only way it's going to fit in on the pegs. There's just no fudging room there. There's no way that you can be confused about how that's going to go on. All right? And here we go now. We have this particular mating surface, that particular mating surface right here. Well, let's see what we got. We got 12, 4, and 4 here. And you see the bottom mating surface there of the front piece, and it's also set up to where it doesn't leave much confusion as to how it goes in. You press that in the front, and as you press that in the front, you're also going to need to be mindful here that you have the console. That also presses in from the back and seats the instrument panel and the dashboard home. Okay? Oh, now I've gone out of sequence over here. I skipped to step 22, which is the front end. But that's not such a big deal. Even after the fact here, you can sort of get it in place. That part forgives you going out of order a little bit. We're going to come to a point here, though, where you actually have to go out of order. We're going to cover that in a moment. In the meantime, you look inside, and you see those little 4-peg arrangements there that are set to accept the seats. In they go. It's funny, you know, as old as I am, and it still takes me some time. I bet you'd beat my pants off getting this thing together. All right. Now the seats are in. Now we come to a little deviation in the instruction sequence. If you look at step 28 there, they tell you that it is time for you to take this window piece, right here, and just put it right on top. I'm going to suggest a change in the order on that one a little bit, okay? Instead, before we put this piece on, there's a little something that you have to note about it. What we have here, I'm going to call the bosses. The bosses are the holes that accept the little pegs. Okay, these bosses accept these little pegs in the roof panel. The problem is, if you have the window in place and then you try to put the roof on, you're going to find that the back part of the roof mounts pretty securely, but the front part is going to be a little bit difficult to get in. This is because those bosses in the window piece, they flex. They have a bit of springiness to them. So what I would suggest that you do is you take the roof and go ahead and put it in first. The back part will go in because there's plenty of reinforcement there, and then you can take your thumb and forefingers and you can squeeze that roof home so that the fit is what we call flush. The transition from the windshield into the roof is smooth. There's not one really raised that much relative to the other. And there's nothing to prevent you from taking this completed piece now and going ahead and putting it on the car. And so we might start where the dashboard has reinforcement. We might start with those front pegs and then just sort of work our way to the back until we have the rear window pegs in where they seat in the engine piece. And you just sort of press and work all the way around until everything is in there good and smooth and secure. Now we just basically have a Lamborghini Aventador missing its butt. Let's go ahead and finish that. In comes the upper part of the rear cowling. That's going to just sort of press in like so. And then, according to step 31, we press in the rear end, and you can actually tuck your fingers there underneath the backing plate a little bit and squeeze them together like this. And then finally, we have the rear under tray. And this rear under tray just has that standard Lego block interface there on the bottom. You go ahead and put it in so that the edge of the piece is right ahead of the edge of that block, and bang, there it is. And all of a sudden, there's a Lamborghini Aventador. An authentic looking Lamborghini Aventador. Built pretty much like a Lego set. Now we have the matter of the stickers. Well, as we go into this next series of videos, I'm sorry, there are going to be some close-up highlights that I missed because I did not set up the table camera, which is an iPod. I didn't have that set up correctly. So I didn't film those at table level. You'll see about halfway through we'll transition back to two-camera coverage, but I'm still hoping that you're going to get the basics about sticker application, even from the overhead shots. We're going to start with a simple one here, all right? So we have number one here that is supposed to go on the steering wheel. We're going to start with that one, even though it's not really the very first sticker that we deal with. Now, you'll notice here that as I fold the whole decal sheet, a corner of it pops up, and this is great. As the corner pops up, that's going to explain what these tweezers are doing in that whole pack that I have sent you there, okay? Because the problem is that the sticker stuff on the back of this tends to get weaker with your finger oil, so you want to pick it up actually with a pair of tweezers like this. It'll probably survive you handling it with a little bit of finger work, but it's a little bit easier to place where you have, let's say, a corner of it on a pair of tweezers like this. Now, the problem is I have found the place of most interference right now because we have this center console piece that's going to get in the way if I keep it on that side. So we're going to switch it actually over to this side. And now there's nothing in the way of the pair of tweezers as I move to put it here. So we see that the bottom of the steering wheel is flat, and we're going to line the flat of the sticker up with the bottom of the steering wheel. And then when you have it just about centered, and that's really more just about than centered for me. Let me see here if I can pry a corner of it back off. That's right. Yeah, that's good. I think I'm going to go with that. It's not perfectly centered, but there you go. We're gonna go ahead and put that in. The stickers can be a little bit tricky that way, which is why you sort of want to position it several times until you have it just about centered, and then press down on it once to be done. Okay. Let's look at the other headlight. I got one headlight in the last time. And we're going to do a similar thing here. We're going to bend the sheet, and up pops the corner. All right, and so there we have a corner of it there on the tweezers. And here then is our front fender piece. And that's not so difficult, I don't think. We're going to see that it lines up. I'm going to look actually at the front edge of the fender piece, where the corner there, to be my guide for how this lines up. And as you can see here, I'm being very deliberate, being very careful, and waiting till I'm pretty sure I have it in place. Let's check it against the other one there. Yeah, the other one isn't perfectly centered. This is a little bit worse. I'm going to see if I can peel it back off. Good. I haven't pressed it on all the way. I can peel it back off and get it centered just a little bit. But oh, that looks good right about there. And bang. You position it until you're happy with where it is, and then you go ahead and rub it in once. Now we have two headlights on this piece. Let's move to the side intake, where I made it a point of telling you that we were skipping the sticker on earlier. This is where things get a little bit tricky. And you want to have this part back apart here, loose like this, so you can line up the black piece that is supposed to go there on the inside. That would be sticker number 21 on this sheet. We already did the sticker for the other side, which I believe was it 13? No, it was 16. Oh, let me just check and make sure about that. When all else fails, read the instructions. 13 and 14 are side by side. 21 looks like the one it's supposed to go, but I want to see on the instructions page just to make sure. Yeah, there we go. 21 is the one that goes there on the side scoop. So, there's a side scoop piece, and this one can be a little bit diabolical here, okay? What's the best place to locate your tweezers? Probably something like that. Okay, so you want to set up over here so that the back edge of the scoop lines up just so against there. And once you have that set up here, the top and the bottom parts should take care of themselves. That looks like it's pretty well in. So we're just going to reach it in there with a finger and press it down. We may actually take the flat of the tweezers and press it down. Also, a Q-tip is good. It will keep you from scratching the surface of the decal there. Okay, so that scoop bit is in. We're going to see that there is a surround part for the outside of the scoop. You can see it in place right there on the other side. Okay, and we're going to do the same bit here for this side. For this side now. Okay, that piece is difficult to confuse from any other one. It's a very distinctly shaped decal. I know it is number 20 here. And this is another one, which is going to call on you to be very deliberate in your placement. I'm going to try to set it up like so. Okay, now, purely, I promise you, by accident, I managed to get it ideally set just about the first time. This one bends around. You're going to take the big, broad center section and smooth it down first, and then work each corner into place. By the way, have you noticed something that's a little bit different here about the top piece? I'm going to shed a little bit of light on that now. You probably didn't notice because I didn't have it in focus here. Here's the thing about the decal as we have it. There's a big, broad orange edge on the inside of this that does not show up on the real car. You'll notice that it also does not show up on the side that I have finished either. How do I take care of that? That's what these Sharpie markers are doing in your set. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this orange edge that really does not show up on the actual car. You're not going to see a big orange edge inside that black decal that you just put. And we're going to take the marker and we're going to fill out the black on the inside of that scoop, like so. And you come around and hit the corner of it too. The other side will actually need to be touched up because it's been played with a little bit. And now you have a finish on the inside of that scoop that's more like the real cars. It's going to be a little bit more finished than just what the box would have told you to do if you didn't have any markers or anything here to color the car with. Now, what we're going to see, and you see here that I've actually worked through numbers 3 here. We have actually it's number 3. And let's hold it right side up so it's more legible here. We have these strips 2 and 3, and what they are body color strips that are supposed to fit on this molded A-pillar piece. We call it the A-pillar. That is the part that supports the windshield, and it's supposed to go in about like so. Okay, to continue the body color from the roof on down. Just about like that there, all right? So, I used up one for practice and went with a second strip to finally get it in place. And what I noted from the first one I put in is that it's just a wee little bit short for ideal, and it's more like the real car to have a slight area of blackness down there at the bottom than it is at the top. So I'm actually going to use the top of the roof as a reference. I'm going to butt the decal pretty close up there to the roof. Okay, so what we see here is that the strip is almost touching the corner of the roof right there, and I have only worked to press down at the very top of the strip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm slowly going to twist the strip a little bit with my thumb and help bend it to conform. Curve it to conform a little more with the plastic surface underneath as I go down. That side wanted to get pressed a little bit that way. Now I'm finding as I go further down, before the whole thing is stuck on, it wants to get pushed back out a little bit more this way. And so I kind of force the direction along with my thumb until it's about the right thing, and then about the right shape. And once it's there, give it a couple times over with my finger, and then we have a highlighted A-pillar. And we can pretty much call it a wrap at that point. No particular rocket science here. We're just taking what they gave us in the box and kind of doing just a little bit above and putting your own personal touch on it. And this is a little stepping stone now to the next thing that we're going to do, which will be that 2015 Mustang. See you for that one.